Hi everyone, my name is Keith Brooks and this is Brooks Channel, and for today's video, I'm going to continue reading the first draft of my Outcasts novel. Now, in the previous video where I read this, we started with the introduction of the book, which basically just gave a short but simple rundown on the basics of the world the book takes place in. Yeah, and for this one, we're going to be starting with the first official chapter. Now, I just want to point out this is a first draft, so some of it may not come out right, and I might change some stuff later on. Just a little heads up. So, without further ado, let's start reading. Outcasts, Chapter 1. On an ordinary day in Highmore Park, a large group of friends met up after school for a game of football. Just a bunch of normal boys going about their day before having to go home for dinner. Everyone involved was running across the field, laughing and having a good time, until they heard a voice call out to them. "Hello!" That's hey and hello together. They all heard as the voice's owner approached them. The voice belonged to Joey Knight, a local 8-year-old boy with a few unusual habits. The most common of these was his way of speaking, often saying words differently than normal. Hello would be halo, okay is okay, and doing is doing, to name a few. This habit, while harmless, put off many other children. "What are you guys playing? Can I play too?" Joey, at only 8 years old, was never good at sports, nor was he very athletic. Even so, he still wanted to try playing with the other kids, in the hopes of finally having at least one friend. They, however, did not share the sentiment. The other boys just looked at him with frowns and blank stares, until one spoke. We actually gotta get home for dinner soon." "Oh, okay," Joey said with a small tone of disappointment. "Maybe we could do something tomorrow." "Well, think about it," another boy said before turning to leave. "Let's go, guys." As they all left, Joey standing there, he could just make out one of them saying, "Take a hint, freak." Just one of many things he was used to hearing. Feeling too dejected to do anything else, he simply turned the way he came and walked home. Back at the Knight family's home, Joey's mother, Erica Knight, was in the kitchen washing dishes. She was an ordinary woman in her early 30s, with brown hair and eyes that her son clearly inherited. With her husband still at work, she spent most of the afternoon cleaning the house before starting dinner. She was so focused on her work that she didn't even hear the door open as Joey walked in. Once inside, Joey acted on another of his unusual habits. At the sight of his mom with her back turned, he quietly walked up behind her and... "Hi, Mom!" "Ah!" Erica yelped as she jumped and dropped the plate she was washing, breaking it as it landed. She quickly turned around to see her son right behind her, with a big smile on his face. "Joey, what are you doing home?" Erica asked, knowing she told Joey to go out and play until dinner time. Joey frowned slightly and tilted his head down before speaking. "None of the other kids wanted to play, so I didn't know what else to do." Erica just sighed, having heard the same words from him several times before. Yeah, Joey usually drops the different ways he says things in more serious situations. Just a little heads up. "Alright then," Erica said after a moment of silence. "Just go to your room and play until dinner's ready." "Okay, Mom," Joey said before leaving to go up the stairs, running up on all fours like an animal, another one of his habits. Erica only sighed again before turning back to pick up the broken plate, all the while thinking to herself what to do about her child. Upstairs, Joey was playing with his toy soldiers, enacting a random battle conjured up in his wild imagination. As he imitated the sounds of battle and knocked over fallen soldiers, Joey could overhear other noises outside his window. Taking a quick look out, he could see a few other kids kicking a ball down the street. Joey just frowned, wishing he could join them. Knowing how it would end, he just walked back to continue playing on his own. The next day, Joey was once again wandering around the streets of Highmore. There was no school that day, and Joey's parents once again told him to go out and play until dinner time. With no one to play with, and only a little money to spend, he had no idea what to do to pass the time. Until, while walking down the street, lost in thought, he heard someone shouting. "Let go of me!" another young boy shouted, as a large man carried him out of his backyard by the back of the boy's shirt. "I better not catch you in my yard again, you little punk!" the man shouted while dropping the boy. "Come on, I was just trying to get my ball back," the boy said. The man looked down at him with a scowl and said, "I caught you up in my tree looking at my daughter in the shower." Mitch looked back nervously, trying to think of how to respond. "Well, The man quickly cut him off, saying, "You ever come in my yard again, I'm calling your parents." He then turned to go back into his house, leaving the boy standing there looking annoyed. Sorry, my words were getting a little messed up there, sorry. Joey, who was standing by watching the event unfold, took a look at the other boy. He looked about a year or two older than him. He had short red hair that was a little spiky, dark green eyes, and was noticeably taller. Joey became curious about this boy and decided to try talking to him. So, in his normal fashion, he snuck up behind him and... "Hello!" Joey shouted, making the other boy jump with a small scream. He then quickly turned around to see a boy he'd never met before standing in front of him, with a big smile. The boy looked at him in confusion for a moment before speaking. Hey," he said, still calming down. "Who are you?" "I'm Joey," he said happily. "Who are ye?" I'm Mitch," he replied. "Good to meet ye," Joey said, offering his hand out, which Mitch shook casually. "So, what was going on with ye and that guy?" Joey asked curiously. Just a misunderstanding," Mitch replied. "None I haven't dealt with before." They both stood quietly, either being sure what to say next. Mitch, despite finding Joey more than a little strange, still didn't want to be rude to him, and having nothing else to do, made him an offer. "Hey, you want to see something cool?" Mitch asked Joey. "Really?" Joey asked, as his eyes lit up. "Yeah, sure." "Cool, follow me," Mitch said, turning to walk down the street as Joey eagerly followed. A few houses down was the home of the Mason family, one of the wealthiest families in the South, thanks to the success of the Mason Company. Founded 50 years ago by Mitch's grandfather, Marcus Mason, the company has founded and owned many of the businesses in Highmore and the surrounding towns. After inheriting the company 20 years ago, Mitch's father, Michael Mason, quickly began expanding the towns across the South, making them one of the most influential companies in the region. Mitch led Joey into the backyard, which was as big as Joey's parents' whole property. "Whoa," Joey said in awe. "Your yard's huge. You must have lots of fun here." "Yeah, my dad lets me," Mitch said under his breath. "Anyway, just wait here while I grab something." "Okay," Joey said, sitting in a patio chair as Mitch went inside. About 5 minutes passed as Joey sat down eagerly, waiting for Mitch to return. Finally, after another 2 minutes, Mitch stepped back out, having to make sure neither of his parents were home. "Okay, here it is," Mitch said as he held up a BB gun, Joey looking at it in surprise. "Whoa, you have a gun?" Joey said, feeling a little nervous. "It's just a BB gun," Mitch said to clarify. "I bought it with my allowance last week, but my parents still wouldn't let me have this, so don't tell anyone, okay?" Yeah, okay," Joey said, feeling happy that someone trusted him with their secret. Mitch then walked over to the end of the yard and balanced 3 empty soda cans on the fence. He then walked back to the edge of the patio, at least 50 yards away. "Alright, now check this out," he said to Joey before aiming at the cans. He proceeded to effortlessly shoot each can off the fence, with just 1 shot each, with only a second apart from the other. Joey just sat by, watching in awe. "Whoa," Joey said, not able to think of any other words to describe how impressed he was. Mitch turned to him with a satisfied smile on his face. It was nothing," he said. "Pretty soon, I'll be good enough to shoot stuff flying through the air." "Cool," Joey said, still feeling amazed. Mitch then walked up to Joey and held the BB gun out to him. "Want to try it?" Mitch asked. Joey looked at the gun nervously. Having never tried using one before, he was worried about embarrassing himself in front of his potential first friend. "I don't really know how," Joey admitted awkwardly. "It's cool. I'll show you," Mitch replied. He proceeded to help Joey out of his seat, showed him how to hold the gun and how to position himself. "Okay, whenever you're ready," Mitch said after setting up more cans on the fence. Not wanting Mitch's efforts to go to waste, Joey steadied himself, aimed at the middle can, and squeezed the trigger, only for the shot to hit the fence just a few inches from his target. Joey went, feeling disappointed in himself. "Just try it again, and remember to look down the sight," Mitch said, reassuringly. Okay," Joey said, aiming at the same can as before. Once again, he missed the shot, hitting the fence. Joey could only stand there, feeling frustration building up in him. Mitch, noticing this, walked over to try and calm him down. "Hey, it's okay," Mitch said to Joey. "How about we try—" "No, I suck," Joey said angrily. "I finally get to play with someone and I can't do what they want." Joey dropped the gun and angrily started punching the air, accidentally revealing the most unusual part of himself. Almost instantly, Joey's right hand transformed into a large boxing glove that flew off of his arm like a rocket. The way Joey's arm moved had it aimed at the fence. In just 3 seconds, the glove hit the middle can and blew up in a small explosion. As the smoke cleared, a large hole was made in the fence, none of the cans remaining. Joey just stood there in shock, eyes widened and staring right at the hole in the fence as he processed what he had just done. It was something he only discovered he could do recently. He hadn't even told his parents about it, and now a boy he just met saw the whole thing. The only words he could mutter out were, "Oh, crap." That's how he says, "oh, crap." As his hand reappeared onto his arm in a puff of smoke, 3 seconds later, Joey turned to Mitch. He just stood there in the middle of the patio staring at Joey, with eyes widened. Joey's mind raced with so many possibilities. Would he tell my parents? Beat me up? Call me a freak? That and many other thoughts raced in his mind until Mitch finally spoke. "Dude, that was awesome!" Mitch shouted as a huge smile formed on his face. "Eh?" Joey muttered, completely confused by Mitch's unexpected reaction. Mitch ran up to Joey and held up his arm to inspect it. "How'd you do that?" Mitch asked curiously. "I never saw anything like that before. Was it some kind of magic?" Joey began to regain his composure as he tried to answer Mitch's questions. "I don't know what it is," he said. "My mom and dad don't have any powers, so I don't know how I can do this. I only found out I could do it a few weeks ago." Joey then told Mitch how it all started. He was in his backyard playing superhero, punching while pretending to fight bad guys. Then, without warning, his arm turned into a boxing glove and flew up into the air. Then after a few seconds, it exploded like a firework. Joey began to panic, running around the yard while screaming in horror. Fortunately, though, after about a few seconds, his arm reappeared in a puff of smoke, like before. Joey stopped at this and looked at his hand in confusion. "I've only tried using it a few times since then," Joey said. "I can make it come and go when I think about it. You're the only one that knows. Everyone already thinks I'm weird, so they can't find out." He hung his head in worry. "And if my parents ever found out, they'd flip out." Mitch let go of Joey's arm and put a hand on his shoulder. "Don't worry, I'm no snitch," Mitch said. "I know how big a pricks everyone here can be." Joey started to smile, knowing there was someone that he could trust with his secret. "Mitchell Mason, what did you do?" Mitch's elderly neighbor called out from his bedroom window. Mitch looked up at him in surprise, trying to come up with an explanation. "Oh, you see, we—" "Save it, I'm calling your parents," the neighbor said before closing his window. Mitch could only mutter, "Shit," before rushing to pick up his gun. "You better get out of here," Mitch said to Joey, while rushing to the screen door. "I gotta hide this and think of a way out." But I'm the one that blew up the fence," Joey said. "Don't worry, I'm used to getting in trouble," Mitch replied. "Oh, and if I'm not grounded too hard, let's hang out again tomorrow," he said before closing the door behind him. Joey stood there in surprise for a moment before remembering he had to go. He ran out of the yard and a few houses down the street before stopping. As he stood there, a thought came to his mind. "I have a friend now." A smile formed on his face as he jumped, screaming, "All right!" And since that day, Joey Knight started feeling less lonely. And that's the end of the first chapter. Yeah. Like I said, some of it may have came out a little awkward. So I might try to fix it, like, in a second draft. But it's basically how I want it to go. It was mainly meant to introduce the first two main protagonists, Joey and Mitch. Yes, and this is the prologue. They're a few years, about 7 years younger than they would be in the main stuff. At this point, Joey will be 8 years old and Mitch 9. So yeah, they would be 15 and 16 years old in the first official story arc. And in the second chapter, we'll be introduced to the third of the main protagonists. So yeah. And yeah, sorry if my storytelling skills were a little awkward. Like I said in the previous video, it's something I'm trying to work on. Another reason I wanted to try reading this book in videos. But regardless of that, I hope you enjoyed listening, and hope that you'll look forward to the second chapter next week. And yeah, now I'm so safe, so I'm just gonna end the video here. And as always, please let me know what your thoughts about this were in the comments. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.